Presented by AfterBuzz TV and hosted by Hall of Fame superstar Sean X-Pac Waltman, this is X-Pac 12360. And now your host, WWE Hall of Fame superstar Sean X-Pac Waltman.
Welcome to X-Pac 12360, everyone. All right. Yeah. Woohoo. All right, take two. Yeah, this sounds a little better. I'm always complaining about shit, so some of it's probably just in my head, but whatever. It's real in my head.
Exactly, yeah.
Isn't that how it always is for everybody?
Yeah. So, yeah, had a good weekend. How about you two?
Nothing major happened in my life. Ty, anything good for you? That's kind of sad to say.
Climbed a mountain.
No? Sean, how was your weekend?
I spent 3 days in Pittsburgh, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was for Steel City Con, and what a pleasure it was to deal with those folks at Steel City Con, because it's a big con, so like sometimes those things can be
Hectic, crazy.
and sometimes the people that run them are like not very personable, and you know, whatever, but these folks were great, and the people were great, and even like the other celebrities, like sometimes that's a thing too, right? Like the other celebrities got their fucking heads up, their noses up in the air, and like, you know, don't want to, you know, like they're like, it's like, who the fuck are you anyways? Like no one even fucking knows who you are walking down the street.
I was gonna say, Sean, have you noticed for you that it's always usually like the lower level celebrities that have the bigger heads, where like the people that are more known in mainstream medium are like the nicest people.
Yeah, for instance, Shirley Jones from the Partridge Family. What a great lady.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Gates McFadden from Star Trek The Next Generation. What a great lady. Morgan Fairchild, great lady. All the guys from Sons of Anarchy, you know, Ron Perlman, Flanagan, Theo Rossi, all great, really, really super good guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, when you do cons like that, do you get a chance to go and like check out and like? Yeah. And then
there's some that are like, if you don't buy anything, they won't even say hi to you.
Oh, sure.
It's like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
You know, some people, they go there, they don't realize how much it's going to be because it costs, you know, $20 just to get in, and then you know, it's like $50 just to go like get a picture and a selfie with somebody.
Right.
And then, you know, some people, they're already tapped out and they just want to say hi, and they're like, oh no, you got to buy some. Fuck you. Like, fuck you.
Yeah,
seriously.
Exactly.
Did you have any cool interactions?
With the people, yeah. Yeah, with the fans that came. I loved it. It was great. Even the ones that are like annoying, like I'm still happy to, you know, like, because it's, you know, even like the ones that are quote unquote annoying are like, it's like a minute. Right? You got to deal with it for a minute, and it makes them so happy. It fucking makes their day or their week or their year or whatever. And it's like, you know, even if you're having a shitty day, suck it up. Thing is when I have a shitty day, like, which doesn't happen very often anymore, but if I do, like, when I show up to something like that and see the people, it makes my day better.
Right.
My fucking day is good, just like that.
And you never know, they're probably having a shitty day too. And so this one interaction could change a lot.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like we were talking a little bit before we went live. It's all about perspective, you know? Could always be worse.
George Takei was there, and so talked to him about the time actually I talked to his husband Brad about the time that they came and did Tomorrow's Show.
Awesome.
Like it was like 2 hours. Son talked to George Takei. It was great. But anyways, he was like, they didn't fucking remember. I mean, they didn't remember me though.
Right.
So.
And then wrestling-wise, it was you and
Honky Tonk Man.
How was that? Did you guys talk?
That was fun. He's you know, even like, so Honky Tonk Man can be like kind of a curmudgeon sometimes, but like I really, even that version of Honky Tonk Man is fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because like a lot of it's just kind of, you know, whatever. I'm not in Honky Tonk Man's head, so it's not for me to say, but I get a kick out of him, and he's fun to be around. And even like when he says shit that I totally disagree with, it's just like, you know, it's funny to hear it come out of his mouth. So,
right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
overall, it was a good weekend.
It was great. Yeah. It was
nice.
Really good. It's just that I just got back yesterday, and I already have to get on a plane tomorrow and go to Orlando for the Performance Center.
Nice.
Go down there and, do my thing down there. And then I fly back. And I have something really cool I'm flying back for, but I'm not going to mention it right now.
Right.
After it happens, I'll talk about it. Because if it doesn't work out, then, I don't want to jinx it.
Sure.
So.
Going back to what you mentioned that you're going back to Orlando for the PC, you've been going down more regularly now. So are you getting used to it? Like going down there, talking to everybody, doing the classes, that sort of thing? Like you know what to expect now, maybe versus the first time that you went in.
Oh yeah, and so here's the thing: is going down on a regular basis and building a relationship with the talent. And when you build that relationship, that's when you can really get through to them, and that connection, and then like you're comfortable saying things to each other, and giving feedback, giving honest feedback without worrying about hurting feelings,
right?
Things like that. And it's just and that relationship, you build that relationship with them, and it's just when you see them go out there and fucking kill it in a match, and and you had something to do with it. It's just, it's really, it's next best thing. I was mentioning this to in some newspaper interview I did for, something I did a couple weeks ago. And we're talking about the things that you miss, and like how hard it is when you're done wrestling because you don't get that. That instant gratification of going out there and knowing you did a good job immediately, as opposed to, putting out an album or a movie or even a TV show where you got to wait till the show comes out or the album comes out or the movie comes out to get feedback and know how you did.
Right.
Or at least how the people think you did. So, anyways, this is like that instant, you get that instant feedback, right? And so, I don't know why I said that part, but
you were saying it's the next best thing.
It is. It's the next best thing. That's what I was telling in this newspaper interview I did. It's the next best thing to actually getting it yourself, right? Like we live vicariously through the guys that we're helping, and it's great. It is. It's like. It's not as good, but it's like next best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
and
really
then
cool.
you also get to see, like, let's say, the last time you were there, you told so-and-so this note, and then next time you come and you're like, oh, I see that you've been working on this, or you applied that. That must be cool for you to see as well, because then you see that they're actually taking seriously what you have to say and are applying that to their work, or,
And also, like, if you give somebody advice and then they go out there and do it and it doesn't work, right? And it's like, was it that I gave them bad advice or they just didn't execute it properly?
Right.
So.
Nice.
That's a good way to. I never thought about it in that perspective.
I can't imagine why you would, Denise.
Yeah, there you go. Because I always thought, like, okay, like you give advice and it works and it's great and move on, yay. All right, do you want to jump into the news?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and kick it off. So we have some news, some NWA news. So apparently on September 30th and October 1st, they're going to go ahead and do their first studio tapings in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, we don't have a venue date set yet, a venue location set yet, but we know that it's coming and it's going to be different. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm all for it. It was really cool when I read I was a press release or an article or something I read about it. I'm a big fan of studio wrestling. I grew up on it, and like that nostalgia aspect, I still go back. And so there's a couple of YouTube channels, like 106 North Albany has all the old Florida stuff that I grew up. I was at some of those. Like you can go on 106 North Albany's YouTube channel, and like some of the stuff they have on there, like I'm in the front row as a 12-year-old kid.
That's awesome.
Skinny little fucking fucker. You could see me. I had the same red tank top on every week. But so, and then there's like this one, I can't remember. Anyways, there's another YouTube channel. I think this guy named Chris Zellner, I think that's right, has that. It's got all kinds of cool wrestling stuff, but like the old Georgia Championship Wrestling, and then they switched it Same studio, same show. They just switched it from Georgia Championship Wrestling to World Championship Wrestling. So it wasn't, you know, because they were on cable around the country, and, you know, like they wanted to come up more as a, you know, nationwide, you know, operation as opposed to Georgia Championship Wrestling. So, so I watch all that stuff. Even in the background, just so I can hear Gordon Soley's voice. It's a very calming thing for me. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan, and that's why I like you know, Marquez's Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. You know, because he's a big fan of all that stuff too, obviously. Yeah. And so I like that. And honestly, like, so, you know, it's cool that that Billy and them, that they're doing this. NWA's doing this, but Dave's been doing this for a minute. Yeah. You know, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've been running for quite a while in studios.
Yeah. So no, it's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out.
Do you think it's going to work in terms of, you know, we're so used to seeing these large stadiums, you know, with, and, you know, selling out with all these people there and seeing that as like very grand, you know. So do you think that maybe for the fans that aren't used to this, you know, 80s nostalgic feel, do you think it'll work, or do you think it's going to gravitate more towards those people that want that nostalgia?
I don't know. We will see.
All right. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on then. There was tons of wrestling this weekend, like so much. So let's kick it off with the NXT Takeover Toronto. So want to kick it off with the first match?
I don't really want to go, like, let's not do this, like, kick it off with the first match, second match, because, like, this isn't a review.
Okay.
So I saw some matches, the ones I saw Street Profits and Undisputed Era. They had an excellent match. Montez. Okay, so we're always talking about Montez, right? Right. And he really shined in this. But let's not fucking overlook our boy Angelo.
Dude, the hot tag that he got, oh my God.
It was great, right?
Yeah.
So, And so I just want to throw some love his way because, you know, we talk an awful lot about Tez. And like, to me, like, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the other gentleman as well.
Right. He's had so many different partners kind of rotated in and out, and I think he's really like just progressively gotten better and better and better.
He's in the pocket. He's in the groove, and like the people are like, I think there's that cool connection with the people, and I like how it played out. The Toronto crowd was great, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I think Montez Ford has one of the best-looking frog splashes that I have seen in a very long time.
It's insane, the way he can leap. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
That standing moonsault, the fact that he's that tall and can hit a standing moonsault like that is unreal.
Yeah. And then, like, some of his facials and just, like, his instincts on when to, like, you know, just, like the emotion he shows out there and just... a lot of really cool shit like that. All the in between the moves stuff, like the moves are incredible as it is, right? Like he's so impressive, but like all that little in between stuff I talk about, he's really, really good at.
Yeah,
yeah, both of them. Yeah, and I like seeing them on Raw, and I don't care if they don't have a match.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Well, it's kind of like a nice break having them on Raw when they come in, because they have so much personality and so much charisma that, you know, every week they've sort of been like, you know, intertwining with different people. So like you want to see like their chemistry with like, you know, Kurt Angle or, you know, Sami Zayn or whoever they have it on with that week. And yes, exactly. So it's pretty cool to see that. All right. So which match do you want to hop on to? We can talk about.
So Io and Candice, those two went out there and crushed it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. I kind of figured that.
Sure. Yeah. The strikes that Io was throwing in that match, good Lord.
And she's done a really good job on transitioning into a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the first matches that we've really been able to see Io Shirai shine in, specifically because this was her style of match. We were able to see the fast pace ability that she can do, and not only that, Candice LeRae was the perfect opponent for her because they're the same size, and she can keep up with Io Shirai. So I feel like both of them complemented.
Her,
She really did. No, she really did.
And she's the type, she could take this loss and be just fine.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my God, she lost. What are we going to do now with her? No, she's still do whatever with her.
Yeah, I think that speaks to how strongly they're building Io, is that like it makes sense, you know, that she would win. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, amazing stuff.
How did you feel about the ending?
It was fine.
I thought it was fine too
tap
because
out?
with the
fine.
Koji clutch, I thought it was because I like when they're pushing that, hey, this submission is deadly, and I like to see when it's submission, when they're saying a submission is deadly, I want to see the opponent be like out like fast, not like super fast, but fast. I don't want to see like this big struggle, because this is a deadly one where you're just like, okay, we're in it, this is over, and I feel that it really got it. I feel like it really got the submission over, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. For the most part, I agree with that. I've always been like, okay, for instance, like when Bret Hart finally get the sharpshooter on me, it didn't take long for me to tap.
Right.
Sometimes it's good not, you gotta play that, it's case by case.
Right.
Play it by ear, the people, depending on how the people are. And to me, that's amazing. Like, to me, that's, for me personally, I listen to the people on that one, on how quick I might tap or not tap. Well, you're gonna tap eventually. It's just yeah.
So how do you?
Because if you wait too long, people.
Right.
Yeah.
But it always reminds me of that match between Hart and Austin at WrestleMania in the I Quit match, where just you get that shot of the blood running down his face, and he eventually passes out. I love stuff like that.
But even the little things Io Shirai did, like, for example, when she was pinning Candice LeRae, she turns her face to the side, and it was just like that one little thing. I was like, man, like, it really put over the fact that she is not happy with Candice LeRae and doesn't even want to look at her, that sort of thing. Even just that one little touch, I thought really gravitated towards that. And I just thought everything she did in the ring was like super crisp, which was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about with Montez Ford. It's those little things in between the moves, that really makes it really kind of stand out.
Yeah.
All right. Pete Dunne versus Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong. How did you feel about this one?
Really good. I thought Roderick really looked great in this match.
Yeah, he did, for sure.
Yeah. Sometimes he gets ahead of himself out there, like, because he just gets so wound up, man. He's fucking wound tighter than a drum. But I'd rather like, pull the reins back a little bit than have to go, hey man, you're not fucking intense enough out there or whatever. He's just really, like, technically one of the really, like, truly best guys on the roster.
Right.
On a roster full of incredible fucking guys, he's right up there.
Yeah.
Technically.
Were you happy seeing Velveteen Dream take the win?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I didn't really have I think last week just to pick someone, I went Pete Dunne.
Oh, sure.
But like, I didn't really like have a pick or anything. It's one of those things, you leave the belt on him until there's like a plan.
Yeah.
Like, not just let's switch a belt.
Right.
No, it's good. And he does a belt. Velveteen's carrying that belt nicely.
Yeah. I love that they dusted off the Mounties theme for that.
I like
entrance.
the entrance.
Awesome.
Yeah, at first I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Seriously.
Yeah.
I was like, "What are they even doing here?"
Yeah, I always dig the takeover entrances when they do the special ones.
And then he comes out with them. Anyways, yeah.
All right.
I liked it.
One of the matches that we can't seem to get enough of is Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. They did their 2 out of 3 falls. What did you think about this one? It went really long, but there was so much and so many layers to this one.
Yeah. I'm just going to fast forward to the final fall in the cage.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, wow.
The tornado DDT that he gave Adam Cole onto, like, the back of the chair, that edge, God, that was tough to watch. That was awesome. And
the finish, I like the finish. I think they might have missed one of the tables. Were they supposed to break both the tables? I doesn't really matter. Whatever.
Right. I forgot there was more than one table there. Yeah.
I like the reveal of the cage, where because it was covered up, so the fans didn't know. I thought that was pretty cool, because obviously had it not been covered up, that would have been like a giveaway sort of deal. But I liked that aspect of it, where the fans were like, "Oh, I had no idea that was on top the whole time." I was
wondering about that as I was watching it. Yeah. And then the fact that there's all these weapons and barbed wire and so much.
But now we've seen them.
Poor Johnny, he just can't fucking come through to save his life, can he?
But I feel like it's like that story that they told with Sami Zayn, where it's like he's so good at playing that underdog that everyone's ready to be behind him.
But at what point does someone have to fucking come through before you just lose?
Well,
you just go, fuck it.
He did have a title reign.
I know.
Yeah.
But the team is like,
I was wondering about that.
Missed it by that much.
Mm-hmm.
How does this one compare to their NXT Brooklyn, NXT 25?
I think it's right up there with the other ones.
Sure.
I mean,
that's the tough thing when you're talking about someone like both of these guys. When each time that they go out there, it's 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. To use that scale.
We gotta keep in mind that this wasn't even really supposed to be Cole Gargano, right? This was I don't know, over a year long build up for a feud with Ciampa and Gargano.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
So I think they did a really good job of switching directions with Johnny, with what they had to work with, and making this I thought they did a good job of making this like a meaningful main event.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just, okay, what do we do with this? How do we dress this up?
Right.
Especially knowing that people are expecting so much given their past matches, and they're like, okay, we got to pull out some new tools out of the bow, sort of deal. So that was pretty cool, that the fact that they were able to, like you said, still keep those 5s, I guess, or those 6s, whatever you want to rate them, in terms of the matches. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and just picking and choosing how to build to these huge spots, whether it's the Avalanche Destroyer off the buckles or, going through the table, like they know how to build to it to really maximize that reaction.
All right. Do you guys want to hop on over to SummerSlam now, maybe talk about some of the highlights?
I just want to talk about 2 things.
Okay.
Dolph and Goldberg. Mixed feelings on that. I'm going to tell you what. Because, I'm with people when they're going, this fucking guy comes in, he, just comes in, gets a big payday, squash these guys, and they got to come, come back and, fucking pick up the pieces afterwards, or however you want to put it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened again. But I try to look at, and I get all the criticisms, like the Goldberg criticisms. Like, I don't disagree, necessarily, but I also have to acknowledge that he's over as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and people still love him, and it's well worth having him around. Okay, so all right, yes, I get it, and I don't disagree, but it's really, if you can get a reaction like that, I mean,
sure.
I'll be honest with you. I thought maybe after the Saudi thing with Taker that the whole Goldberg thing jumped the shark.
Right.
But apparently not.
People are still on board.
And so, hey, I'm just all for using these commodities that we have available the best we can. And I think it was, unfortunately for Dolph, I think it was the right thing to do to get him back. I don't know, feeling good about himself, or just the people feel like, the last thing you've seen was not that fucking Saudi thing.
And I think that match was exactly what it needed to be, and it had those little surprises thrown in with those super kicks at the beginning, and then God, the way that Dolph took each one of those spears was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the post match for this? When he came back out and speared him twice more.
When he keeps calling him back to the ring.
And he keeps calling him back out. I thought that was I thought that added to it, so much more. I was like, no, we can't get enough of this. Let's see this one more time, because Dolph Ziggler did take those, really, really nice. Like, he took some crazy bumps. Like, I could see the whiplash on his neck when he went back for those. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so, apparently there was a little bit of I guess that Matt Riddle and Goldberg crossed paths.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What I read. I mean, you guys didn't read anything about it?
I didn't.
guess that apparently he was like, "Nice to meet you, bro." He was like, I ain't your bro. I mean, that was the end of it. I guess there was a little, back and forth a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, moving on. So, I mean, overall, I personally really enjoyed the Goldberg Dolph Ziggler thing. I thought it was fun. I love the way it started because I didn't expect the super kick right off the bat. I don't know, maybe I just didn't expect it. So that was pretty exciting. I didn't expect the post match. I actually liked Dolph on the mic when he was saying like anybody can get lucky twice, idiot, and this and that. And he was just like wanting more and being that annoying person that just doesn't learn. And you're like, really, dude? He already kicked your butt and you still want more, So I thought he pulled that like annoying character off really, really well.
Yep.
So I think say what you want about with Dolph Ziggler and whatever happened. I think this was a good job.
It was, and I just listen to the people. I listen to the reaction, and that tells me everything I need to know.
Sure.
So Goldberg is, he hasn't worn his welcome out at all. So good. Hey, good job.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Brock versus Seth Rollins?
Excellent match.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
How'd you feel about the crowd basically starting off one way with Seth and then basically making a full 180 in terms of how they felt about him during the match?
I think a lot of that is based on how they used Seth recently. Like he had to, a lot of the stuff recently, like I think that they've tried to do with him hasn't worked how they wanted it to.
Right.
Right? Like that's just the way my observation on it. It's not like I'm paying, like it's not like I'm watching really, like I'm not like fucking, like dissecting it with a fucking exacto on it. But I'm just saying, what was I saying?
It's the common consensus, I think, though, that things are going.
There's people watching right now. I knew it was going to be at least where was I?
What you're trying to say is that Seth is going out there and he's trying to do certain things and get a certain reaction, but it wasn't happening.
So I guess here's what I'm trying to say. That happens sometimes, okay? I'm going to use, for example, like Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair. Now there was some matches where like people just like they were like like gag me a little bit with the whole Family Man Ricky Steamboat thing,
Right.
Coming out with his wife and the kid and the horse. It was just like a little bit too much, right?
Right.
So some people turned on Steamboat a little bit, and then and so like you could tell in the beginning of the match, and they were more for Rick. But with hard work, and just being so fucking great and such a great seller and just so great, period. Ricky Steamboat, just he turned the tide. And that's what happened here. That's people just, it's hard, at a certain point when somebody's just getting a fuck beat out of them, it's like, man, you got to feel for them a little bit, right?
Sure.
So, yeah, I think that's what that was.
Yeah, I think his work is good enough to transcend any of that.
And maybe the people might have thought, this is just going to be another fucking sacrifice for Brock Lesnar. So,
but that's the thing, is that for as good as Brock is at giving offense, I think he's so much better at taking it as well.
Exactly.
Like he can make guys look like $1 million when he was in there with Daniel Bryan, when he's in there with Seth Rollins. Right. Like he makes it feel so important.
Yeah. And this is why.
Facials too. Sorry,
right.
I was going to say, this is why when people fucking part-timer, the champ, it's shit like that. That makes me go, this is why Brock Lesnar is the champ. Or like he's not the champ now, obviously, because Seth is, but that's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's fucking amazing.
Less is more sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is the case for that.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. So let's move on to Raw then. So talking about let's hop into King of the Ring. Maybe they announced King of the Ring is happening next week. Do you guys have any thoughts? Excited?
Not really. Like,
no?
It's a great, I love King of the Ring. It's just, okay, we announced it, and all of a sudden it's already here next week.
Right.
Fucking, can we build it up for a month or something?
That's fair.
The fuck?
I am
who's
excited.
even in it?
Right. I am excited because there are some unexpected names in it. Buddy Murphy's in it. Cedric Alexander's in it. I'm not sure about the full lineup, but at least with guys like that, I'm hoping that they use it as a platform to sort of elevate, maybe a lesser known talent.
Is it Raw? The whole Raw going to be is the whole tournament going to take place?
Well, I don't know, because it's 8 people from Raw, 8 from SmackDown. I know that much. So it'll probably be across both shows. But hopefully it just leads to a solid blow off. And
well, I mean, in the past, at King of the Ring, once somebody got that, it was to the moon with them,
right?
Until Billy won it. What? It's me and Billy in the finals.
That's funny.
But I think overall, though, it's a good way to kind of keep people coming back every single week, for however long this is going to last, depending on how they lay it out. Just kind of keeping that and keeping the continuity of it, too. Because I think that's one of the things people have been talking about with Raw is the continuity and wanting to see that continue on with each episode. So at least with this, we kind of get that, at least with this portion of the show, which is, I think, what people want to see as well.
Hey, so like this, the other thing from last night that stood out to me was Natty coming out, right? And she lays it on thick, right? Often,
right?
And because she's very it comes from here. Like when she's out there and she talking, like for better or worse, like it's coming from a real authentic place with her, right?
Yeah.
And so when she's out there and she's like laying on pretty thick, and then she talks about her father, and it's hard to boo somebody when they talk about their father vaccinated, right? So, and I think, and then when Sasha comes out and fucking it was really good shit.
Yeah, it was.
It was really good stuff. Fucking good.
It reminded me a little of the kind of the Mark Henry Salmon Blazer retirement kind of promo a little bit, in that I think when she pulled out that line about Jim Neidhart, I think that's when the crowd was like, oh wait, this is real, you know. So I think that's what needed to happen, and that was just that was a great moment.
And Sasha, was the intensity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it fucked her up. Then Becky came out and fucked Becky up too. Hey, and then there was a spot in there where it looked like there might have been some, maybe Becky got mad, maybe she got stiffed a little bit, because I could see her kicking back a little bit, that was didn't look like it was part of I don't know. I just got the feeling at one point maybe Sasha fucking took it a little too far. It got maybe a little carried away. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you think? How do you think she looks in terms of, she's been gone since WrestleMania. She's coming back with this new hair, this new intensity, this new energy. How do you think that's going to go out? Or how that's going to play out?
That depends on how they book it. Yeah. I just think she's done her part already.
I think it's going to be hard to mess this up for sure. If we're just straight up one-on-one going with Becky versus Sasha, it's kind of, fail-proof at this point.
Here's the thing, though. I for anyone that's in charge of writing or creative or whatever, don't assume that the people are all gonna just jump on the Becky train on this, because some people are going to be for Sasha.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So you think there's going to be a little bit okay, who's really the heel here?
Maybe.
Who's really the face? What's happening here?
Maybe.
Is it going to happen
not
naturally?
that. It's just that some people cheer the bad guy.
Right.
When the bad guy comes out and,
Well, then once we hear what Sasha Banks has to say, that's also going to add to it, because she could say something where you're like, oh man, I totally agree with her. Where even though she's the bad guy, you can't help but to also agree with what she's saying. So I think depending on the follow-up as well.
Hey, can we talk about at one point when was it during the fucking beatdown of Natty when the people started going, "Thank you, Sasha"?
Oh,
what the fuck?
That was a little unexpected.
I mean, I to give the.
I mean, what was that about? Thank you for what?
To give the crowd the benefit of the doubt, I think by that point they know, okay, this is an angle we're allowed to kind of, jump in and kind of be on
be
whoever's
assholes?
side. Yeah, more or less.
Or maybe thank you for coming back. I don't know. What was the thank you for?
No, the thank you was for beating Natty's ass for sure.
Then never mind. I
Yeah.
No, yeah.
That's
Somebody shut her up.
I think a lot of
kind
it.
of messed
God.
up. She was just talking about her father dying
That's
at
what
the
I'm
1-year
getting at.
anniversary.
That's why I'm saying.
But that's what I mean is that once they see Sasha start to beat her up, they're like, okay, this is all an angle. We're allowed to, jump in however we want.
And be an asshole.
And I think people were just excited enough to see Sasha, that they're going to throw that out there.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck it. All right.
All right, well, there you go. Those were some of the major highlights of Raw,
That's it.
SummerSlam, and NXT. So it's definitely a jam-packed weekend of
Full
wrestling.
weekend.
So much.
Yeah, and tomorrow, I just got off the plane yesterday.
Never a day's rest.
Shit. Tomorrow I get on the plane and go to Orlando, which I looking forward to.
Is Lou going with you?
She's not, which I'm a little, I just got home
Right.
and my lady, she works every day, goes into the office and writes every day, and so Lou's home alone sometimes.
Maybe you should do those dog hotels. Have you heard
No
of them?
way.
right.
No? Are they not
Fuck,
good?
no. I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but not for her. Yeah, but she's happy in her familiar surroundings.
Totally.
That's why I won't bring her down there and leave her in a hotel room because it's
Right.
like, what the fuck? What is this place? And in my mind, I'm like, is she worried about if I'm never going to come back again until
Right.
I do? So I think about that.
Yeah. Well, how long are you going to be down in Orlando?
I come, a little over a week,
Cool.
8 days. Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right. Well, how far along in the show are we, Jeff?
Guys, I'd say that's a full show. We're hitting about 40 minutes right now, so
Perfect.
let's make our way out.
Let's get it.
Love that
Perfect.
music. Great show, guys.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
So I guess before we go, do not forget, follow us on social media, XPac12360 and at XPac12360 Show. We're on Spotify. We're on Anchor. We're on Stitcher. We're on Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Make sure to follow us there as well. And then as for me, you guys can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at _Denise Salcedo. And August 17th and 18th, I will be at Expo Lucha in San Diego. So make sure to check that out, expolucha.com.
All right. Go ahead.
You can find me online at Ty Matthews PMA. You're going to be around this coming Sunday, the 18th, Red Carpet Rumble, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Big yearly event.
Cool. All right. We're out of here. See you next week. Right here from Matt. Jeff always cuts. Well, he didn't cut me off. He left my mic up. See you right here next week, everybody, from AfterBuzz TV Studios in North Hollywood, California.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Sean Waltman, and the entire X-Pac 12360 staff, thank you for tuning in to X-Pac 12360.